Hello, my name is Scott Abels. I'm the president of PrepJet. I'd like to talk for just a few minutes about something that was suggested to me by one of our applicants, which has to do with healthy habits to support your ability to pass this exam. As you know, in the spring of this year, 2020, and it's almost June as I'm recording this today, a lot of people during the month of March were pretty glued to the TV with respect to the virus that's been plaguing all the nations of the world. And of course, nobody really studied. Pearson was shut down, and then in May, mid-May, they started testing again. In certain states, other states are opening up as we speak. Things will return to some degree of normalcy, but I don't know when it'll be ever the same. But we are very pleased to say that since testing resumed, I have had nothing but great success with many, many of the people I work with. You know, having healthy habits is important. I can't imagine. I think there's a lot of people during the quarantine period that we've been going through probably put on a lot of weight, probably eating more than they used to. They're at home a lot. Maybe they're not sleeping very well. You know, I'm one of those people that used to see a psychologist. I had insomnia. I knew I was dealing with some issues because of the death of a loved one. I've had family members who had issues, and I found great comfort in visiting with a therapist. And all this happened long before I was president of the two largest brands in North America for preparing for the EPPP. And in the 30 years since, I'm very happy that, you know, at PrepJet, we've been able to help almost 25% of the people taking the test pass the test. Now, they do come to us, many of them, having failed 4 or 5 times using other brands. Our program is an efficient way of studying. I don't believe in books. I think it's silly to try to relearn clinical psychology. You should only learn what you need to know to answer the questions that could appear on the exam. No test prep company is going to know all the questions or even know the questions. But it's pretty easy to look at the research and understand, well, what kinds of clinical questions would an applicant be asked? And if you have someone like Diane Edwards in your corner who's written material for not only PrepJet, but the 2 other brands where she was at since the 70s and where I was president for, oh my goodness, I was there starting in 1990. So I've been through this a long time, and healthy habits are critical. For instance, knowing that I just worked an 8-hour day and I have maybe some kids at home, or maybe I don't. The fact is I worked. I had a commute. I need to eat. I need to hydrate. Hopefully you're doing that in between your clients. You know, I remember learning from my own physician. I wasn't drinking enough water. Now, I'm a little older than some of you maybe, but you know, staying hydrated is very important. And it's equally important that you get enough sleep. Getting enough sleep. You know, I had 300 plus employees at one time. I don't think I ever slept more than 5-6 hours. Can you imagine having that responsibility and running a multi-million-dollar operation and sleeping 8 hours? That just isn't going to happen. But you know, the beauty is this. We get to control our schedules to some degree when we're not at work. Balance comes from you. Developing healthy habits, going for walks, studying for 45 minutes and no more on a work day. And if you're tired, I wouldn't even study. The people need to just take control of the situation and not let the situation control them. I have seen applicants who become their worst enemy. They stare at that damned computer screen for hours trying to understand some silly thing. And the only reason why they're struggling with it is because they're studying from fatigue. When you're tired, you're done. You don't study. And you don't need to write us and have us explain something, because every time they do, we end up explaining it to them and they go, oh shoot, I should have known that. They would know it, but they were too tired to figure it out. These people that study till 10, 11 o'clock at night are crazy people. I don't want to work with them because you won't remember anything in 2 days. I know. I read questions on the phone to those people. I'll tell you another thing. I'm not going to name names, but my phone rings at all hours of the day. I have people in New York City that forget I'm in California. And at 1 a.m. Eastern, they finish an exam. Now, why in God's name would you take a mock EPPP and start at 8 or 9 o'clock at night and actually think you're going to score well? Why would you do that? Don't do that. Always take exams at 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, no later than 1, just like Pearson. And when you feel a little bit of fatigue, it's time to stop. Making time for friends, family, loved ones, taking the dog for a walk. Go get your hair cut or whatever you do. And when the gyms open up, go back to the gym. Jog. Develop healthy habits. Eat at your usual time and eat healthy. Drink a lot of water. But if you're tired, you're much better off watching Jeopardy than studying for the EPPP. I promise you, I've talked to too many people who will later admit I shouldn't have done this at night. And you shouldn't have to wake up at 4 a.m. to take a test because you've got appointments and you want to get a test score to me so that we can talk later in the day. Just reschedule it. I'm not going to die and I'm not going to disappear. I can reschedule it. I have control of my schedule. Just make sure you understand I'm in Pacific time. And if you call me, I'm probably not going to answer because we're already on the phones. From 9 to 3:30, I talk to folks like you. And then from 3:30 on, I talk to people testing the next day. That's my schedule. That's how I do it Monday through Friday. And yet, 7 days a week, Dr. Horry and I are responding to emails because we know that you need support at various times. Just understand that there might be a call or two ahead of yours or an email. You're always better off emailing us anyway. You'll get a quicker response. I guess what I want to say is that your health is critical to your success on this exam. And to stay healthy means sustaining and maintaining a proper diet, going to sleep at your usual time at a decent time, especially if you're going to take a mock exam for me the next day. I want you rested. I want you to always be thinking, when you take a mock exam for me, replicate exam conditions. But the last thing I would say is this. Structure is critical. Treat your studies like a patient that needs to be seen on a daily basis. And this patient will see you for maybe 40 to 45 minutes, Monday through Friday. And maybe on Saturday, you might see them 4 times, maybe 5 times. So that's 4 45-minute study sessions, maybe, with 15 to 20-minute breaks, which means get out of your chair, stop staring at that stupid screen, and be a human being, interact with your loved ones, see what's going on with your friends, get away from the screen. Because even if you're taking the EPPP, I would tell you every 25 questions, stop, count to 60, close your eyes, look at the floor, stretch your shoulders back, and stop every 25 questions. This will actually sustain you. Developing these habits now will help you pass the exam. So please, fitness is important, sleep is important, and faith in yourself is important. This exam does not define you. What defines you will be being able to say to yourself, I did what I needed to do today. I got as much done as I could. I did the best I could. Tomorrow is another day. If you need any support, guidance, assistance from us, please write us at support@prepjet.net. And this is Scott Abel saying thank you very much for your time and take care.